Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Joining me here in my 2024 Tesla Model Y, all-wheel drive long range, running FSD 13.2.9. This video today, we're going to look at one of the new features that came with a recent update that we haven't looked at so far, which is the avoiding highways feature that comes up in your navigation. Just kind of wanted to see how FSD handles. I'm sitting here at my work right now, so I'm going to be heading home. Typically, I take me right down to the interstate, drive all the way down the interstate to get home. But we're going to look at what it does to avoid highways um, here in the city. So here we are in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I work on the north end of town, live on the south end of town. So like I said, usually jump on the interstate and head down that way. So if you're looking to get out of the idea of taking the major highways, taking more, let's say, quote unquote, back roads, this is obviously a feature that can sort of help you do that. So you're on your Tesla screen here. I just click on my little card down in the bottom left corner, scroll down and click on navigation. Um, New feature here to avoid highways. I'm going to click that and we're going to kind of see what happens. So I'm going to plug in where I'm headed to, which is going to be my mom and dad's house. Go pick up my kid. And so this is kind of giving me an idea. So typically here on the screen, I would come out here to the interstate, um, go down I-25. This is going to literally take me this way right here. And so we're going to go with this route and kind of see where it leads. It's going to take about 47 minutes when it usually takes about 30 minutes for me to get where I'm going. But we're going to go ahead and do it. So take a nice little drive trying to avoid the highway as I leave work today. So you're going to come along for that ride. So here we go. So started from park with FSD, just pushing that blue button to get us out of the parking lot, and we are going to head on down. Like I said, trying to avoid the idea of being on the highway. Same distance, more so than anything, to get where I'm headed. Obviously, it's going to take a lot more time to take this route, but it at least gives you an idea if you're looking to avoid driving down a highway or taking the busier streets more so than anything on your drive as well. So kind of get an idea more, looking at the city streets in terms of how FSD handles. So like I said, I'm running 13.2.9 at the moment for full self-driving. Running let's pull this up. So, 14.9 update to the car. So let's get a good handle here on what the drive will be like, more so than being on the highway. So more city driving and more, sort of less busier roads as we make our way here. So as it's going here, I'm going to look at the route we're going to be headed. Get over. Okay, so yeah, like I said, it'll usually take us that way onto I-25 and down. saw the yesterday that it looks like Tesla got its official certification to be an autonomous vehicle in Texas, I believe it was. So the goal I think here is to launch robotaxi. Launch robotaxi. So obviously we're probably going to start down in Texas and start moving in that direction. So we're getting to an idea of fully autonomous driving as well. So that's good news out of that front. And what we're going to do here too, I think as I get closer here, I don't think I'm going to drive the whole way. So as we kind of get over here, because I can jump onto the interstate that way, I'm going to disengage avoiding the highways to see if it reroutes as well. So I'm going to wait till we kind of make our way down the side street a little bit, or not side street, but like I said, we should be over here driving down I-25 going that way. So if I change it in the mid-drive, we'll see what happens. If I take that feature off, will it try to reroute and obviously try to get us to our destination faster versus the 40-minute drive. Like I said, usually runs about 30 minutes where I'm going. So that's if you're not looking to get somewhere in a hurry, you can avoid highways, take the more, I guess, leisurely drive to your destination as well. That's a feature to look at. So because when navigation wise, when you plug in things, you're going to want to typically it's going to find the fastest route it can for you, avoiding traffic, doing those things in order to get you to your destination. So like I said, instead of driving out here onto the interstate, we are currently taking the alternate route to avoid the busier roads. And something like this, you'll get more traffic lights, more stop signs, those types of things as you're making your way across town. So like I said, I'm on the north end of town going towards the south end of town. So those are your trade-offs when you're looking at how it works. But with an FSD in play here, and you can do this without running FSD as well, so you don't have to be on full self-driving to avoid highways, because that's obviously a navigation thing. Excuse me. But if your car can drive itself like this is right now, then nice little leisurely drive in places of the city that you might not go more often than not. So that's the upside to it. The downside is it takes longer. So that's depends on what you're kind of looking for as well. But out here on a nice hot sunny day in Colorado, running FSD, like I said, we're on version 13.2.9, 14.9 for the car as well. So just making our way. Stoplight here, changing, quicker stop. Like I said, we'll see if I mess with it. I wonder if you can mess with it. You know, mid drive here, will it reroute me to the, like I said, so once we get kind of down in this area right here, I'm going to do that. That way, see if it gets us onto the interstate. And then if that does, we'll drive down the interstate a little bit. And then, somewhere around this area, I might engage it to see If it put it back on to see if it tries to reroute me again. But we'll see. That's kind of the test. So yeah, I could plug it in, leave it, take you all the way down there with me, avoiding highways. But let's mess around with it to kind of see if we can play with the system as well. Apologies if it gets louder. Just had to bump the air up a little bit too. Starting to get a little warm. I don't feel like being sweaty here in the car. Got another Tesla up here on our right. Got a lot of resist, impeach, expect the clown, or elect the clown, expect the circus bumper stickers. Good to know. We've all seen the falling out of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Not going to comment too much on it. So I'm kind of glad that Elon is sort of more back to focusing on his companies. Make drives like this a lot more better for the consumer and those types of things. So that's always a positive in my opinion. But let's make the best car we can, sustainable and good for the future here. So driving itself. Haven't had to do anything since I started. So that's a good thing. Again, we should be over here right now on the interstate heading to where we're headed, but we're avoiding highways with the new navigation feature. Like I said, and once we get past this intersection, I think is when I'm gonna, not this intersection, but the next one, main one. We're gonna take that feature off and see if it reroutes mid-drive. Not sure if it will. We're through that intersection, so I'm gonna go down to navigation. We're gonna hit that, see if we get rerouted, and it does. So that right there, so taking it off has rerouted us. And we will get onto the interstate. So I'm going to get us on the interstate, drive down a little bit, and then I'm going to engage it again to see where it's going to take us off of the interstate onto the city streets. So mid-drive, you have the ability to mess with that. You feel like you need to avoid the highway for a little bit, but then you get back onto the highway. You're able to do that as you are going. So it took not even 3 seconds possibly for me clicking that and out of it to rerouting us, which is what it should do. The same idea if it predicts traffic or anything like that, it can reroute mid-drive. So you're just manipulating that without it having to do it on its own, and you can sit here and manipulate that to get the drive that you want. So we avoided the first part of the highway. we will get back, or we will get onto the highway. Then I'm going to let us drive for a little bit, get us off, get us on the side streets, and then get us back on. So let's mess with it. See how this works. See how fast it'll get us off the highway versus if it's going to take us far or take us to the next exit or anything like that. So we're going to get onto the interstate here. Once we make the turn, and we'll loop around here and get onto the interstate. Knows what lane to get into because it's unique here. That's the north lane. This is the south lane because you go over the interstate through the light and then make your little loop onto the interstate. So we'll do a little merging midday onto I-25. If you don't get off here, you wind up on the Air Force Academy. So you want to make sure you get off here or get onto the interstate from this point. If you keep going on this straight on this road, you will end up on the Air Force Academy. There's an idea for a video. I had access. Well, I mean, I sort of had access. I can get onto the Air Force Academy. My job, but pretty sure you have to disengage full self-driving when you approach the military gate with the MPs so they can check your ID. So when we look at autonomous driving, what's that going to be like if the military ever allows a fully autonomous car to come onto their installations? Doing our merge here. There's always a busier section to merge onto the interstate as well because I have a car. You see that car on the screen there? He need to slow down. So FSD was not going to let him take us over there. Okay, so we're on the interstate. I'm going to go past the next big exit. And see how fast it will try to get us off the interstate if I click avoid highways. Get this up and ready for us. Feature here because that would have been that exit right there. Now I'm going to engage this, see what is it going to get us off on the next exit. Yep, it sure did. The nose to get us off. On the Nevada exit, which is the next one. Right? So if I click it again, it'll keep us on the highway. Yep. So no delay whatsoever with it. So if you really want to, you can really control how your drive is going to go. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get us off. Have some fun with it for our last little bit here. Get us off onto the off ramp, engage it, and get us back onto the interstate. So and see how really much you can manipulate this to tweak it how you really want to tweak it. So we're going to navigation. Let's get off. That should get us off on Garden of the Gods, which is the next one. As we're on the off ramp, I'm going to try to get us back onto the interstate. So, and look at the true manipulation you can make into this in terms of trying to avoid the highway. So use the highway to your advantage. Use it, get off, get back on, get off, get back on, whatever you need to do as you're driving. So about half a mile here, we should be getting over. Get off. Ooh, truck behind me. Get ready for this. We're gonna get on this off ramp here, and then I'm gonna re-engage it, see what it does, how the navigation gets affected. There we go. Let's see. Ooh, gotta go and do a U-turn. Nice. So if you do something like that and you mess with it, let's let it have some fun. This isn't the type where you can like stop here and then just keep going straight to go up back on the interstate. So it has to come around here, make the U-turn to get back on. So very easily manipulated at this point. But we're gathering here. So see how FSD handles this. Cars up on the coming on the left. You guys can't see that. Still cars coming. It's creeping out. Still cars coming. I have a feeling it's nope. It's not going to go now. So it's got to sit here and wait for all these cars that are coming up on our left here. Especially if it's going to cut over to make this U-turn. Now it's going. And this might be, we'll see how I know it's going to go to the light because you can't make a U-turn right here. You really can't make a U-turn here either, so it's not reading the signs well. There are no U-turn signs up ahead in front of us there. And very unprotected right here as well. And if it turns into this, it's taking us into Chick-fil-A, which isn't a bad idea. So we are going to probably, sure, the car is going to make us do an illegal U-turn. Oh, that car in front of me just did it too, so I guess it doesn't matter. It's funny, back in the days when I was probably in college or just out of college working, did a couple ride-alongs with some cops because I worked for the police department. We actually used to sit here and catch cars making this exact illegal U-turn. Oh, it is not going to go there. Okay, I was like, there's no way. So very unprotected, and makes the illegal U-turn. Yeah, so we used to sit here and try to catch cars making that illegal U-turn because especially when because there was a lot of construction they were doing too, and the cop I used to ride with a lot wanted to sit here and make sure that they weren't messing with the construction. But it gets doing everything it can to get us back onto the highway since I directed it to basically do that. So FSD and navigation in play is right there, but there's a big issue right there with FSD. That's going to have to be the biggest one is that it's going to have to be able to read those road signs like that. If it's going to be fully autonomous, because then it just basically broke the laws or the rules of the street there. It does real well with these little, you know, cars go on green type of thing. There we go. Let that truck go instead of us going. The little things to get back onto the interstate or whatever. And so merged back on, got off, merged back on, right? It obviously did everything it could to get back onto the interstate to a point where it broke the law. But yeah, the camera system and the AI is going to have to be able to read those. See that right there at that little intersection that we did that at had a no U-turn sign. You know, because if I gotten pulled over by a cop there, what would have been the reasoning of like, well, I was running, the car was driving itself. The answer is going to be, well, you knew. So I could have taken over right there and made sure that it didn't make that U-turn and didn't break the law. But I went ahead and let it did it. So if I had gotten pulled over, explaining that to a police officer, whether or not that was, the fault of the car itself. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's going to get the ticket. But that right there shows you. So that's that new feature under navigation, avoiding highways. So started off the drive using that, and obviously showing that in the middle of the drive, you can toggle that on and off. Your navigation system is going to keep up with that and get you onto the highway at the next available point to get you onto the highway, and then get you off of the highway at the next available point that it can do that. So what I'll probably do here is speed up the rest of the video until we get to my final destination. So if you like what you saw, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Okay, welcome back. I interrupted the speeding up here because run into a little issue here. It looks like we have to, let's see what happens here, because this road is closed. Navigation's telling us to go straight. Tesla's still able to catch that, so it's going to have to reroute us now. And then do a U-turn down there. That's funny. Yeah, so tried to go under that bridge right there. I've talked about that bridge a bunch of times in previous videos as well, that it's just rebuilding this whole bridge system right here. And so looks like we're, there we go. Heyo. Quite a little abrupt stop there. We were able to get through that. Anyway, but yeah, so they're rebuilding this. So without notice, it seems like they just shut down the road there. It's called Hancock Expressway underneath that bridge. They did it a few months ago too, where no notice whatsoever, shut it down, and that's the way I go to. I'm headed towards my parents' house, go pick up my son. So right underneath of us, going over it right now. So looks like we're going to do a little U-turn down here to get back to where we were going. So basically, rerouting to take us the way we want to go, um, that we would have gone underneath that bridge right there. Jesus. So a little bit of construction zone here, which is quite awful, honestly. So we're gonna let this play out too, because I haven't disengaged in anything since the beginning of this. Um, and this is not an illegal U-turn right here, at least. So that's positive. What it could have done is try to take us back out to the interstate, go down the interstate to go a different way, but it's not. And I don't have that, avoid highways on right now. So navigation was not up to date based on that road closure. So it still was able to see that road closure and make us turn left like it should have without me having to do anything. Truck right there, sorry. So which is good. So big step forward there in autonomous driving right there, because it was, the road was closed. It's obviously you noticed it. Um, Rerouted us and is going to try to get us back going that way. Because I'm sure that's still the fastest way to go at this point. Um, so we're going to do a U-turn here to get back over that bridge onto a different exit that is on the other side of it, to keep going down the road that we were headed down. So, and this area right here is not an illegal U-turn, so we're going to make this U-turn probably when the arrow turns green for us. A lot of concrete blocks, barriers up here as well, so it's navigating all that pretty well. So I did not think I was going to have to interrupt the video there. I was going to take us to the end, sped up, but something like that. I noticed it and turned the mic back on, and let's take over. So most cars are taking this U-turn. We are through some pretty rough road too. They're, like I said, tearing this all up, rebuilding these bridges. Um, so we're getting to experience that a little bit. So yeah, it had it closed right here. So we got off, made the U-turn. We'll get back off right here, so we'll avoid the under the bridge area. So like I said, a good step forward in the world of autonomous driving. So even those circumstances, I'm letting the car play it out. I'm not having to take over at all. We're still running FSD. We've been running it since we left the parking lot at work. Um, Still, hopefully, won't have to take over. Get off here with a pedestrian walking. But what that shows you though is the advancement of the car. We're gonna have some traffic here too. Just I'm sure because everybody probably had to do this. That we're probably coming this way, but no. But it shows you the advancement where we are sitting right now with full self driving. Previous versions, you probably, back to version 12 and before, probably had to take over more so than often in certain situations like that. But as the AI is getting smarter and smarter here, it's able to see those changes that aren't expected, especially if it's running off navigation. If it's running off navigation and then obviously closures that you're not going to see because even up here it's closed. So like these cars that are coming right here are all going to have to turn here to go up the road and take a different type of detour because you can't go that way, even though right turn signs over off our right, because underneath the bridge right here is closed. So whatever they're doing the work here, but again unannounced. So navigationally, it's not going to know that because we should have just kept coming straight right here. So we had to get off and then do the little U-turn and get back to where we were going. So. And now we get to sit here and wait as well. But But just a little hiccup, so I thought I'd jump in. So I'm going to take this back out. So again, I'll say it again, because this should hopefully be the end of my commentary on the video. If you like what you've seen, give the video a like. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.